Alright guys, well this is the next update on the 1937 Rat Rod. Okay, on the last one we were working on the rear hatch here on the bottom half. We got the hinges in, we got it moving. Okay, it's not moving exactly the way I want, it needs some fine tuning, but I want to get this top hatch in, get that part working, that way I know when I'm fine tuning everything it's going to come together right. Okay, so where we finished last time, we have this, it tilts out like so. Alright, got a little grinding on it, work on it, but we'll fix that. Okay, so this is, that part's good enough for right now. Okay, so we're working on this one. Now there's existing bolt holes up here from the external hinges that were on it before. Didn't come with the car. Don't feel like paying $1 million to find originals. Okay, so what we're going to do is, we talked before about how I looked at all types of trunk lids and hinges and things like that, trying to get what I wanted, and everything wouldn't fit. So today we're going to build our own. All right, real simple design. We're just going to have a pivot point, which will be these stock mounts. Okay, you use a right angle to take and make really just a mount so that some square tubing can go into it and pivot. That's it. Now with the other part, so we got the back of the car coming down, right, and we got our hatch. Excuse the drawings, you know I suck at it. Alright, so all it's going to be is it's going to be a mount in here, and then pretty much like a U, it's going to come up and be solid welded into the trunk. So what will happen is this U will pivot to this point, and then our trunk will be like this. That's all we need. So this side will be totally hard welded, and it'll pivot on the car. That's the plan. Simple, easy. I'm sure it won't be simple, but we'll figure it out. So that's the plan. I'm gonna make 2 sets of mounts first, and 2 sets of hinges. I'm calling them hinges, they're really just arms or whatever. And we'll make them pivot up, and when we get it where we want it, then we can start working the top and bottom piece in together right. Because I know the body line is kind of flexy right here, because we cut all the strength out of it when we cut it in half. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll end up getting the top piece done right. We'll get it moving right, then we'll cap it with a piece of sheet metal on both so they come together clean. That's gonna be the hard part, is making this look good without a giant freaking seam across the middle. There's gotta be a seam, but we gotta try to make it look best as we can. Everybody's gonna be staring at the ass of this car. All right, so that's the plan. All right guys, let's start making mounts. Alright guys, so look, this is what I've been making, alright? I know it's not the prettiest in the world, but it's going to work. Nobody's going to see it. It's going to be up under the freaking trunk lid. So anyway, I used some 1x1 right angle, drilled it for my mounting holes, and then cut some 1-inch tubing for this. So in the resting position, when it's closed, it'll be like that, and then it's going to tilt up to here when it's open. Okay? Simple, easy, nothing crazy about it. Now the bolt's too long, but not a big deal. I'll cut it down later, or I'll get a different bolt. Right now we're just mocking things up and getting to work. So one thing you need to pay attention if you'd make any type of hinge like this, okay, is when this thing pivots here, you see that top edge? You gotta make sure that it clears, no problem. Now, on my other one, it didn't clear. So I'll show you what you do there. My other one, you just notch it at a 45, okay? So when this goes up in here and this is in here and it pivots, it's never going to hit. Now, something else, when you're building anything that's going to move, you want to be able to still keep it tight, but you want it to move. You're going to need washers. Just use good old flat washers. And here, we'll assemble this one real quick. So I've got bolt going through the washer to our arm. And the fun part of lining up the other washer. It's a tight fit on these bolts. I didn't want a lot of wobble in it, so I drilled them really close to the diameter of the bolt. This is always a little fun time lining up these washers. Come on now. There we go. Now put a nut on this side. Now I prefer to use a nylock nut. I don't have any for this one right here because it's a fine thread. So just for today, I'll double nut it. And that, actually, it probably won't need to be double nutted. Anyway, here it is upside down. Now you can see it would have rubbed. And now I can go from both positions. And it never goes above, so we're fine. See? And that's all because I cut that corner off. So that's all you got to do. So now we need to figure out the distance. So inside the trunk, this is where it would be closed. Got to figure how far from here over and how far up. So this thing can just boom, pivot right up. So next one is to do this, then this, mount in the trunk, and then we can start putting it all together. All right, now of course to get our measurements here, we got to put the lid back on. About where we want it. Okay. So I know that my pipe is at the middle of the two holes, and I want it to mount at the middle of these two holes. Okay. So looks about 5 inches. So we're gonna do a 5-inch cross piece. Now we have to figure out how far up to go. So if we're doing that, the best way is probably with a chalk pencil. If I can find one. I just bought a whole pack. Well, you know, a chalk pencil, you just kind of spit on it, I guess. All right. So, I know this ghetto was the way I do shit. All right. That gives me my lines to let me know whereabouts. Now I can drop a straight edge across this and get a measurement, and that'll tell me about how high that piece needs to be. So now, get this off without getting cut to shit. So, first off, we're going to need to make that 5-inch piece and weld it to. We're going to need to get that 5-inch piece and we're going to need to weld it to this one. That way we can hot bolt it in there and get our measurement. All right? All right, guys, well, I'm done for the day, and I want to show you where we ended up. All right, so you can grab the bottom, comes down, top goes up. So pretty much what we talked about. Now I've got to probably add some little lift struts to this to keep it up. It's got a little bit of weight to it. The bottom I'm not so worried about. And we need to cap off the metal because this needs to set over a little more, but a cap on it will take care of it. And that way I can create a nice perfect seam across here with 2 pieces of metal. So I'll be working on that in the future, but for right now, the trunk lid's on and it opens and closes, so that's a great start. Sorry guys, so do me a favor, if you like this video, subscribe, and if you want to see some other things I've done, there should be a link over here too. All right, well I appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot, have a great day.